Lewis Hart here for The Ring magazine, joined today with Eddie Hearn. We're in the aftermath of just a crazy sort of ending, sort of in the ring, out the ring as well. Lewis Crocker, Paddy Donovan, probably not the way either fighter would have wanted it to end, in disqualification, win for Lewis Crocker. But yeah, I guess it's been about an hour or 90 minutes. Just sum up to me the emotions and feelings from everything there.
Still, I'm not confused, but still just the madness of the situation, trying to understand and kind of digest what happened. Obviously tears from Paddy Donovan and his team, and I don't know, joy from Lewis Crocker. I don't think he would have wanted the fight to end like that either, but he won, and he's the mandatory for the IBF title. So much to digest, so much to discuss, so much controversy, so much opinion. It's very diverse as well, but Paddy Donovan hit him after the bell. I mean, that's the one thing that there's no discussion about.
Yeah.
It's should that have led to an instant disqualification?
I'd say, yeah. What was your main takeaway? Not even from the hitting after the bell, because that was quite clear.
Yeah.
Paddy would tell me he didn't hear the bell.
Yeah, I believe him.
Yeah.
I don't for a minute think that Paddy Donovan. I mean, Paddy Donovan had the fight won.
Yeah.
There's no way that he would have intentionally punched after the bell, but he did it. Now, whether he just got carried away with thinking he was going to stop, whether he couldn't hear it because of the crowd, it doesn't matter. It was after the bell. Yeah. So that's a problem for Paddy Donovan. But, we talk about, I said about, referees coming and kind of explaining the situation. Was it a case of Marcus McDonnell, who's a very good referee, saying, hang on a minute, I took 2 points for the headbutt, I see you with the elbow in there, blah, 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 you punched him after the bell, enough's enough. Or do you deal with an isolated incident? If you deal with the isolated incident, I don't think it is an instant disqualification. But I guess you have to take in everything that's happened during the fight. Paddy was probably a little bit unlucky as well, because it was a clean shot that landed. If it's one that doesn't drop him, the ref probably says, "Oh, you get back there, Paddy. Lewis, back to your corner." But the reality is, it dropped him. It looked like it ended the fight, and it was a disaster for Paddy because he gave it away. He had the fight won.
Yeah. Is it? We're not referees, but is it right to question Marcus McDonnell's position when the punch landed? I mean, when there's 10 seconds left and someone's going for the finish, some people will argue that you got to be there when the bell goes. But also at the same time, it's not necessarily the referee's job to dive in the middle of the fighters at the bell. It's the fighters' obligation to not punch after the bell. I think Marcus was a little bit blindsided. I think if he was around the other side, he would have had better access. He was kind of out, But again, he's a very good referee. You're not always in the best position, but you can't blame Marcus McDonnell for Paddy Donovan hitting after the bell. No, it's his fault. It's not his fault. Could he have been in a better position? Maybe. But, in the madness of trying to finish him and the noise, it happens. But unfortunately for Paddy, it happened and ended the fight and was on top of all the other things that he was warned on for the fight. And maybe enough was enough. Yeah. I know you alluded to it in Oscar's interview with the Stomping Ground, but I spoke to Andy Lee and Paddy Donovan after. They seemed pretty sort of certain that Paddy was definitely certain that Lewis was looking for a way out there. I guess what would you make of them comments and that sort of observation that people may make that Lewis was looking for a way out? I
don't think he needed to look for a way out. I mean, Paddy gave it to him on a plate. Paddy ended the fight. If he didn't land that shot, he would have won the fight. He would have just stopped him the next round or carried on and dominated him probably. But, Lewis is a game kid. Don't forget that the injuries sustained to Lewis Crocker were down to the head of Paddy Donovan as a foul or unintentional, whatever they were. So he hung in there. It was a tough night for him. Again, I think he can box much better. But Paddy boxed very, very well. And but he'll be kicking himself because he had the fight won.
Final one for myself. And let's say, Lewis Crocker's after April 13th, after Boots Santiago. The reality is, do you think he would entertain a Paddy Donovan rematch?
Look, it's difficult for me because Paddy Donovan will think, Eddie, you've got to support me in the IBF appeal. And Lewis will say, Eddie, you're not backing me. Or Billy will say this. I can just be honest. I would like to do the rematch because it's a massive fight. But I also understand Billy and Lewis saying, I'm mandatory now. So we're going to go to Atlantic City, watch that fight. The IBF's decision could take everything out of everybody's hands. But for me, I'd like to see the rematch. But also, right now, Billy, Lewis Crocker's mandatory for the world title. And everyone's got a hot head. And it's going to take a while to calm down. So we'll see what spits out.
Brilliant. Eddie, I really actually appreciate the time because it's quite late here, so it does mean a lot, mate.
Cheers.